Alright, so I'm going to start working on the rear brakes. So I got, this is all the stuff I took off, so I'm going to get them all kind of cleaned up. I got new shoes and stuff like that for it. I know everyone's kind of scared of drum brakes, so I thought maybe I'd make a quick video explaining them a little bit there. I have the rear end that came out of the two-door, so I kind of took it apart, so we'll bring in, show you how it all works. It's super rusty and hammered. I had to really beat it to get it off there, but seem to work out. I mean, they're all pretty simple. My advice is, if you're scared of them, take a picture and get the couple of tools you need to take them apart, put them back together properly, because that makes a world of difference. But yeah, I'll start getting these cleaned up and kind of show you when they're all cleaned up, and I'll start painting them. So I'm about halfway done here. Just wire wheeling all the parts and all that. That's how they start off looking. They get all full of brake goo and dust and stuff like that. Just 3 springs. The one's still on the e-brake lever. A couple little spring clips. These go into the wheel cylinder, and that's about it. So there's a couple little rods, I don't know where I put them there, that end up holding these, to go through these spring clips and hold everything together. So I'll have to go find those. Must put them somewhere special. But yeah, that's that. Like I said, I'm going to clean all these up. I'll probably just fog them all black and start putting it back together. But I'll clean these up, and I'll probably actually just go show you how it works on the other rear end I have. Alright, so everything kind of cleaned up there. I just hung up the springs. I painted them real quick. Red and blue is pretty typical. I had red oxide, so that's the color they're going to get. The brake adjusters here at the star wheel, I clean these up. I'm just going to go ahead and run some Never Sees on the threads and stuff like that, just so those stay looking nice. And then over here, I just put all the kind of regular hardware, and I painted it all flat black. So that way it's, let that dry, flip it over, and put it back together. Don't really have to do that, I just kind of wanted to. And I figured here, so I'd show you, I just pulled the rear end apart, or I pulled the drum off, I should say. I'll just get a light real quick here. So again, if you took a picture, or if you have a owner's manual or whatever it is, it explains everything. But pretty simple. So the brake fluid's going to come in on the back side there, go into your wheel cylinder. As fluid goes in, all it's going to do is push both of these things out, which just expands the shoes. Very simple, and then those rub against the drums. So you can kind of see how the springs go. There's 2 at the top, 1 at the bottom. That's your brake adjuster. These little springs are what hold everything in to the backing plate. And then there's your little crossbar right there. And then the e-brake comes in there. And it goes on to this back shoe there, and it just, as it pulls ahead, it manually expands the brakes, just like it would do with the hydraulic fluid. So pretty simple little setup. Everyone's kind of intimidated by them, it seems like, but if you just kind of take your time, take some pictures, take it all apart and put it back together. There's a few tools which make it 1,000 times easier. This one here, it's actually for a newer style, but it pulls off the springs from the backing plate. This is the other one to remove the springs. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. So it's very simple. The one end is for removing it, so you can spin it around. It's off like that, real easy. And the other side, just kind of pop them on, and there you go. So without that, you do it with a flat screwdriver. It's a pain in the ass, but this is a good tool. I actually stole this from my old man, so it was free. But I'll get these painted. I'll let them dry, and then we'll start putting them on the car. Alright, I figured I'd just kind of show you the gist of it here on the bench. So I got the star wheel and all that adjuster cleaned up and never seized. The bottom spring, upper springs go there. Little bar is going to go across. The spring here is actually going to go in there, but it'll push it apart. Both those are going to go into the wheel cylinder, and that's what's going to hold all together. On the back side here, I just did this one. That's the e-brake, so it's going to be, you'll see it like that on the car, but pretty simple. The little cable's going to wrap around there, and then as you pull the e-brake or the parking brake, just moves that ahead, and it's going to spread everything out. So that's that, and then these are the little spring clips that hold it together, and these just go through the backing plate like that. It's a quick push and turn. So I think that's pretty much everything there. Oh, one more thing. These are the shoes, which are, the pads basically. One side's bigger than the other, and you just gotta always make sure you put the big one on the back. bob, big on back. So pretty simple. So in this case, the big one's on the back, so this would then go on the passenger side, and that'll be towards the front. So that's pretty much that. I'll get it kind of set up on the car, and I guess, you know, maybe just talk my way through as I pop them on, but it's pretty simple at this point. Alright guys, so I'll just show you. I got the one side together. Pretty simple, if that light's too bright or not, but so it all together, for the most part, looks good enough for me. Probably set you up on the tripod. Maybe I'll see if I can talk my way through and putting this one together. So again, I like just kind of lay everything out. Springs where they're going to be, the bars where it's going to be, everything's there. I have my two little spring clips, little holder there, and then this piece, and that's it. I got my tools set up on the other side, so we'll see if we can get this sucker together. Alright, so I kind of got started there. So the backing plate, there's a few little spots there where the shoes are going to ride. 3 in the back, 3 in the front. So I cleaned those up with some, just a roll lock there, and I put little never sees on it. And then, I mean, again, the brakes are kind of half together. So as you can see, this little lever here, that's for the e-brake. So I just put that cable in. It's a bit of a pain, so you got to use kind of both hands and screw around. But that's that, and everything else just kind of fits around. This is in the wrong spot. So these little nubs here go right into the wheel cylinder, so you know you're in the neighborhood there. That's that. This little bar you got to kind of fish in. So it fits up against the e-brake lever, and this pops in. It's going to run against the front shoe. So that's that. And those are both happy. So that's kind of going to be how it's going to work. So the next thing, these are the pins that hold in. So they come in through the back, they go through the shoe, and then this is the clip. And as you can see, it goes in one way, you turn, and it won't come back out. So you feed that in through the back. It's right in there. Now there's a special tool for this. Well, I have it for more modern stuff. It's like a kind of a fancy screwdriver, but this old car, it's different than the ones I'm used to, so I don't have anything, but a finger and pliers, whatever, work just fine. So once we get this going, so there we go. So they're not going anywhere. They're basically held in as good as they're going to be. So you just kind of make sure everything's going to line up, which it looks like it all will. And we're going to put that in a piece. This goes on like that. This is where that tool comes in handy. I showed you on the other one. So you just kind of slip it on. It's got a little bit of a bite there, so you can put it up against this little stud. If I can get it. Oh. So there you go, that's one. Here's the other. Man, camera goes on, I lose all my skills. So there you go. Give it a little whack, make sure it's all good, but that's essentially how they're going to kind of work there. So that's that. And then down here is your little star wheel, so you can adjust the brakes, so, you know, loose and tight there. And obviously as the threads come out, it pulls the bottom of the shoes apart, so it makes them bigger, so they fit a wore out drum more. So I have them real tight. I'm not too sure what I'm going to do for drums just yet. But that's that. So pretty simple. I know everyone kind of gets a little crazy about drum brakes, it seems like. But once you do a few of them, they all work pretty much the same way. But that's it for me tonight. I'm going to call it, and I'll probably be back out tomorrow. I don't know if this is where the video will end or not, but if it does, make sure you subscribe. Okay, so I'm back out in the garage there. It's been a couple days since I kind of put the rear brakes on. So I'm probably going to slide under the thing, double check all the lines, make sure they're all tight now, it's all kind of dealt with. Put some cotter pins in the e-brake setup, so that's all done. And I'll probably just redo these brake lines, get them right up tight to the firewall while I'm still doing brake lines, and then that should be done. The next I'm probably going to move on to is a little bit of body work. While it's up on stands, just the bottoms of the sills and all that is just still rough. So I'll probably start grinding on that, because I'd like to get this thing down on the ground and start working it inside for a little bit. But so a lot of little projects I'll start working on. Alright, so I've actually got a fair bit done. I redid the brake lines at the master. I just kind of uncurled them and went around. I had to lengthen a few things there, but that should be good. I should have lots of header clearance now, wrap around, because they were close to this side but not to that side, so it should be fine. And I haven't actually secured them yet, so I can still move them around if I have to. Underneath the thing, I put a bunch of cotter pins in. I went and double checked every brake line just so I know they're all tight. I'm sure they might have to come apart again, but at least I know if they don't, it's all done. The rear drums, I just kind of wire wheeled them and gave them a quick coat of paint, because those are actually still good when I measured them, so those will go back on. And I just started working back here. There's a little bit of rust repair, like I was saying, I have to do. So at the back, that's where the bumper is, just on the underside there. Both sides I got to weld that in. There was one spot right here, which I know is just one little pinhole. I guess I never got to it, so I'll have to put something in the back there, weld that in. And then just on the underside of the sill, just where I joined the panels in, I went under and under the sill there, and I didn't do anything there, so I just ground that down. I'll just put a quick coat of filler on it. It's not, doesn't have to show anything. It's structurally sound because it's all welded. But I'll just put one kind of coat of filler on there, give it a quick scuff, and it'll be done. So I gotta do that on both sides. So I'll start welding on this, kind of show you a little patch panel I make, get it welded in, grind it off, and then hopefully it's a quick coat of filler, and move on to the other side. Alright, so here we go. Nothing too crazy there, but it's full of metal. Did a little patch there as well. And then, like I said, I ground up under there. So basically, that's that. I moved the welder to the other side already. See it through the car. So I'm going to do the same thing. I actually already did the sill on the other side. And there's just one crack, I think, on that side. And then the same thing with the bumper. So I'll be doing the same thing. Weld a little patch in there. Grind that down. I probably won't do much back here because it's going to be behind the bumper, so who really cares? And then just a little bit of filler there, and at the front of the sill and underneath a little bit, and then back to the other side. So I'll get that all done, show you how the other side turned out, and then probably just a little bit of filler, and I think that's it for me. So here's this side. There's actually a little worse. I had to do the back and the bottom, get that all dealt with. And then there was a couple of spots under here I had to finish welding those. Yeah, that's that. I ended up pulling the fuel door off a while ago, so I just ground down the back of that and laid some paint on. So yeah, that's pretty much that. I think I'll probably put the brake drums on. I'll see if I can get to the filler. I got this hood's in the way of all my body stuff, but yeah, maybe I'll put a quick coat of filler on there, and then probably about it for tonight. Alright, so I put just a little bit of glaze on the spots there. I ended up doing the back just because I thought, why not? And then I got the brakes on both sides, nicely painted, so the brakes are 100% done. Bodywork's basically done. Like I said, I'll probably just go over that with some 120 or something like that. The glaze comes off real easy. And then I think that's all I got to do. I guess I got to give it a quick once over and just make sure before I drop it down the wheels. Probably the next thing I'll tackle is this hammered up door. I'll try using that spot puller, so that'll be fun to watch me fail at that, because I've never used one before, but how hard can it be, right? But I think that's it. I think I'm going to leave it there for this video. So make sure you go online there and tell your friends and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. Alright, see you guys in the next one.